Full screen ahead. Here we go. Here we go. We're off and
Yeah.
running. Hell yes. Hey
What's
guys.
up?
Hey, so yeah, we're being busy here at X Marks the Thought. This is by the way, I apologize. I said we were on episode 6 last time. It was episode 4. So we
Oh
that
yeah.
episode, yeah, we were indirectly 2 episodes in the future. You guys just don't know it yet. So
Uh-huh.
anyways, I'm Dave Squeaky Wheelz. Again, welcome to X Marks the Thought, the podcast with myself and Maxine X, where we talk about sex, fetishes, ghost stuff, whatever goofy shit is going on in the world and whatever's going
Whatever you
on.
want to. You got a comedian and a porn chick. So what else?
What could go wrong? That combo always works perfectly.
So we're gonna chat about whatever. The first thing I have to chat about is Johnny won, and I knew it. I knew
Yeah.
well, actually, I hoped he would win. I don't want to say I know that he would win because you never know how society and the culture is. But I do know no matter what happened with the jury, I did know that he had won because he won his fans back. He won his reputation back. He was able to tell his story. And even though he risked talking about the most vulnerable things that people can talk about, his struggle with drug addiction and alcohol, his abuse as a child, and his horrible relationship. And these are very, very intimate stuff. And also he almost lost he lost a lot of money before the relationship end, not just because of her, but before the relationship end, because he had a lawyer and he lost millions of dollars. I think he said $750 million went missing. And he had a lawyer and a business partner of 17 years or something that basically were in cahoots and embezzling money, and they stole tons of money from him, and he had to take him to court. So that happened during the relationship. So he literally opened up his soul to be able to tell his story. Yes, I have all these flaws. I'm not perfect. He was a big fucking mess in some aspect. His relationship was toxic, but at the same time, he risked telling his story just to get out that he wasn't a woman abuser, which is like the worst thing that men want to be called, who don't ever hit women. So
Well, I mean, there's worse things you can be called, you know.
yeah, of course.
I
Oh, of course. Yeah.
we don't, it's apples and oranges at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that it's fucking over. I mean, we're gonna move on to the next thing as a culture. We always do. It's we
I
find
don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm moving on just yet. Okay, just slow down.
Listen,
Slow down. I'm not ready.
It's over, Maxine. It's over.
No,
Find another show, lady.
I'm not ready. I may have to go through some of the episodes that I missed of the trial to see some of the testimony. I may have to make some more TikToks about the Johnny Depp. I don't know if it's over for me yet.
5 Netflix documentaries about what you just said. So I would stick maybe the TikToks and can show your tatas on the TikTok, you know? Show your other T's on the T's. I thought actually, you know what? I didn't tell you this. I thought about a great idea for a TikTok today. When I was stoned today, I was listening to Pantera, and it was the Cowboys from Hell song because I'm weird like that. I go through a deep dive with music, but I always like to start at the beginning first because you can kind of tell when they're kind of finding their footing. Then like they're in their groove.
What do you mean the beginning? To explain, like unpack that, because I'm not a big, huge music fan. I listen to pretty much the same things, and
yeah,
but you tell me.
Yeah, well, you know, Pantera. They're, I mean, I don't have to be their Wikipedia page, but they're from Texas, and like they had a big hit.
I actually don't know that much about Pantera.
Oh,
I know
really?
the name.
Well, yeah, they're basically one of their lead guitarists, Dimebag Darrell, was murdered on stage. That's.
But when was that? Oh my God,
like
I don't know anything about this.
It was like early 2010, something like that.
But you're gonna have to educate me on that.
Yeah, but like they're interesting because they started out as like a glam rock group, so they just kind of did like glam rock and a lot of like some thrash stuff, but they really kind of took off with their album Cowboys from Hell. It was like in the mid '90s, and they kind of like they, I don't know, like they kind of like reinvented themselves, for lack of a better term.
I
So
really listened to Pantera, so
yeah.
remember
It sounds like Metallica, but like a little bit more operatic. Metallica is very kind of in your face, kind of, you know, kind of really speed
I
aggressive.
listened to Metallica because I was just from that generation.
Yeah. But anyways, the Cowboys from Hell song, they have a really cool guitar solo at the end, a drum solo, and I was blowing smoke rings while I was smoking a blunt. And as I was blowing the smoke rings, I was like, the beat was timed out to the drums. The solo was like, da, 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 da. I was going bump, 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 bump. And I blew like 5 smoke rings out
Oh my
all the
God.
drums.
Okay,
So,
you're gonna have to show me your smoke rings sometime because I want to see it. Let's get it on camera. I want to see smoke rings.
Yeah. Like I don't want to play the song on here because we don't want to get copyright because YouTube
Oh yeah.
is bad about that stuff, but I can demonstrate my skills. I mean,
I want to see your smoke rings.
I mean, I know that you're aware of, you know, in your line of work, there's men who are very talented with their mouth and whatnot. So this is just a different type of talent.
Well, you know, sometimes I don't get enough of that. Sometimes I feel like it's just all like cock and not enough like, oops, sorry. I always forget the language. I guess that's, oh, you are good at that. You are good at ring. Oh my gosh. I wish I could do that. I've done like maybe like one at a time.
You get the key is to like, because everybody's got a different technique, but the key is to make your mouth like a circle and then push out with the tongue, and then let another man force his penis into your anus, and just stop talking to your father.
It's PG, right? So, all right.
It's not PG. I'm for the algorithm. I'm putting that it's not for kids in here. Okay, so if
I have that already. Like mine already actually got forced to do that. Like I didn't put it at first, and then YouTube just forced my videos on like not made for kids. I'm like, got it. I get it.
Yeah, you have to be careful in this day and age. But like I don't know. I think that's a good idea for a TikTok. Just it's a useless skill, completely useless.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. I don't know how to do rings. I've tried them before, and when I do it, I get like one out, but I don't get like what you were doing. That's a skill. Yeah, no, I don't get enough of that down the other way either because you know, I guess you can't see as much on video. Every once in a while I can get somebody to do, somebody ends up doing that. I mean, it happened in my Brazzers. I think the Johnny Sins Brazzers, it happened, and a couple other videos, but they don't do that, you know, as much because they have to show a lot of, I don't know, stuff that you can see more on camera. I guess all you would see was the head covering the area.
Yeah.
So that's not as camera friendly, but yeah, when I get it, it's always a little bit of a bonus. So
yeah, because I don't know, like depending on the technique, because I think people get confused when you just use your tongue. It's not, you gotta like get in that motherfucker. Like every girl's different. It's like a different lock combination, but I know that like just using your tongue isn't doing anything.
No. There's a whole combination to it, by the way. So it's like if somebody's down there, there's got to be more things happening. So maybe you have to make sure that you tickle the right buttons and possibly use some of your digits. So, you know, there's a combination. It's like a little bit of all three, a little bit of one, maybe two at a time, two things at a time.
Now, quick question. Let's say you're Johnny Depp and you're really getting a character and you have a peg leg. Do you accept a peg leg in down there, or are you afraid of splinters?
No, not afraid of splinters. I've done a lot of things in there, including bottles. And that was one thing that she said on her in the trial. She said that he did her with the bottle, and then she says, "Oh, didn't even really feel it." I'm like, "Oh, bullshit. This is a bullshit story." So here's the funny thing, right? So she says, this is the weirdest thing. I literally went on TikTok and I did like kind of a demonstration that this can't be. She said he bent her backwards on a bar. Okay. Now, and I'm telling you, okay, yes, she was backwards, but she was basically on a 90-degree angle. Like you would have to be a contortionist because she said her feet were on the ground, getting her feet cut on the glass, and she had cuts. Now that was bullshit because there's a picture and there's droplets of blood where his finger got cut off, and you can see droplets of blood. Now, if her description happened because she was trying to demonstrate why that picture was that way, she was saying that it wasn't him who had the finger cut off; it was her who was bleeding. But that's different blood. Second of all, it would have been smeared with foot moving, right? She had no cuts on her feet. All right. She had no injuries. She's never been to a medical. They had nurses and doctors on staff with them. They've never ever seen or whatever any kind of injuries or had any complaints. Never. So she's bent backwards, which is totally like, unless you're a circus person and totally a contortionist, that's not going to happen, and your feet on the ground. Second, she said that he smashed a phone so bad to smithereens, which cut off his finger. Not her. This is how he says he cut his finger. He was at the bar. His right hand was at the marble bar, and she threw a vodka bottle at his head, and it went right past his ear, and it hit the wall. Then she threw another one, boom, and it hit where his hand was. And so he said his right hand or something? He says it was like he was resting on the bar and it hit like right here. And the bar is a marble bar, and she had a vodka bottle that was one of the big ones with the handle. So it was a huge one, and it would have been heavy depending on how much vodka was in there, right? And boom, hit and cut off the tip of his finger. The glass shattered everywhere. And they have a picture that they showed. And the picture has the bar area, blood droplets, a tissue where he put his tip of his finger in a tissue. And it was on the floor because the butler got it, right? And there was a phone that was not broken in the bar. And she claimed that there was an antique phone that nobody saw it destroyed on the wall. And she said he smashed it to smithereens to the point where he cut his own finger off. Then he's with his cut off finger. She's claiming he put her throat like this, held her down with a bloody finger. Now, she's claiming she didn't know when he cut his finger, but he would have been bleeding because he already smashed the phone. And then he's using a bottle. Now, when you have a broken bottle, it was his right hand, sorry. He's holding her like this, and his right hand. And then they have a picture of the Maker's Mark whiskey bottle sitting perfectly on the counter, 2 bottles on the counter, haven't been moved. Now, that bottle would have had blood. It would have had bodily fluids. It would be gross. So,
also, yeah. For those that don't know, the Maker's Mark bottle, it has like a red kind of handle to it. So that
it's not that big. It's actually small. So it'll only be going into the beginning of her. So that's not even like, it would be like a tease. It would be like, damn, can that thing get any bigger?
It'd be like an Asian penis, you know?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So she's claiming this is the bottle, or it felt like this bottle, like she would know. She doesn't know. And I actually know what it feels like because I used to do strange insertions on my webcam. Strange insertions. Objects. So I would use different type of objects.
Sounds like an 80s song.
Back in the day, I was a little crazy and wild and making my webcam.
Putting things up your puss. Strange insertions.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking wuss. Strange insertions. See? It sounds like a Devo song.
That's an 80s song. All you need is the electronic music. Strange
insertions.
And then a robot kind of outfit fashion.
Oh, exactly. And the fucking terrible gray pants. Yo, Devo fucking, I don't know. I think Devo had a little touch of autism, but they just didn't know back in the day because of the 80s. I'm just because of how they dressed. Or maybe it was just the style. Anyways.
So I know what a bottle feels like. Amber doesn't. So my
you
point
forensic
is,
filed this shit.
and I'm a true crime fan. I watch true crime. I watch like forensic CSI shit. I watch like psychology stuff and the mind of a serial killer. I watch all that stuff. That's the stuff I love.
You know, some people listen to ocean waves or like something calm to fall asleep. Maxine falls asleep to fucking just people talking about 5 homicides and murders. Like the Night Stalker is like what you use to fucking soothe and relax.
Listen, I've fallen asleep to those serial killer shows, and I used to do it too much. One time I used to fall asleep to like all these stuff that had to do with serial killer crime and the famous serial killers. And one night, like I mean, one period of time, I did it too much that I started dreaming about it. So I was like, I stopped watching serial killer stuff before bed.
Yeah, it's too suggestive. Like that's what I'm concerned about. Like I don't know if you ran into this because I find that there's other people that dealt with like stress differently, but during like the initial stress of the pandemic and when we didn't know what was gonna happen, when all this shit before all this shit hit the fan, and in the midst of it, I was having like a real problem like falling asleep a little bit. Like, I'm working on this bit where I'm talking about how I don't know because it's a similar bit. Like a lot of comics have something similar where they talk about how like you just can't stop fucking thinking when it's late at night. Like with Doug Stanhope, he says like
that happens to me.
Yeah, like Doug Stanhope's joke is like and it's sort of paraphrasing obviously, but he says that every time you go to sleep, it's like the carnival kicks into gear where you're just asking all these dumb random questions. Like you have terrible music you're thinking about. There's like other different things. And like for me, yeah, like he's saying it, he's putting it in very elaborate terms. With me, it's just like I'm playing, I'm mostly just sitting there playing like, well, what about this? Well, what about this? And it's constantly I'm comparing and contrasting, and that's one thing.
You know what? That's normal because the brain is like, especially in dream, that's what kind of dreams are like. Basically, like your brain is going through all the scenarios in your head of everything that you went through and all your thoughts and like things that could happen and what should happen and what if this happened and all this stuff and seeing it in different ways. And when you dreaming, it also is the same idea, but only it comes out in symbolism. That's why they say the things that you're dreaming, they have meaning to your life, or fears, hope, this kind of stuff, right? So right before bed, your brain is doing that. The problem is that it makes you not fall asleep. So guess what? I go through this too. So guess what I started doing? Okay, so I used to do sometimes, where you calm down and you listen to meditation music.
If you would have said that you would stick bottles in your pussy, I would have just stopped the podcast right there. I was like, oh yeah.
Well, that doesn't happen to help me fall asleep, mind you, and I haven't done that in a while. But.
Oh my god! By the way, sorry, Caillou. I think somebody's getting murdered outside my apartment. I am hearing somebody fucking scream.
What are you hearing?
Oh my god! Somebody's fucking screaming at the top of their lungs.
Wait! I thought I heard something. What is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's happening right now.
Let's hear.
I don't fucking know. It's you can hear that too. Holy shit! That's wild. What the fuck is that?
Do you think it's outside or in the hallway?
No, it sounds like it's
outside.
It sounds like it's outside. Oh my god.
Go to your window. Oh my god.
I gotta go to my fucking window.
I want to see. Go find out.
Oh, okay. Should I pause? Here, hold on.
No, just keep going. This is part of the stream. Listen, it could be just some crazy people just like having fun, or it could be somebody who needs 911. Let's find out.
Oh yeah, it's somebody just like, I think it's somebody having like some type of breakdown, but I think she's running back and forth, like in front of like one of my neighbor's houses. Yeah.
Oh my god! Can I tell you, like the alleyway, like, okay, thank God my stepson moved. The alleyway that.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that after. Yeah.
Okay, the alleyway behind his house, there was like several crackheads, and he actually one time someone was falling or something, and he went to go help them, but then he pulled a knife on him. And he was like, dude, I was just trying to help you. Like, you don't have to like get aggressive.
The old
right?
falling down, pull out a knife trick, huh?
Right.
We've seen that one before.
Yeah.
Fool me
And
once,
then,
shame on me. Fool me twice, you get a knife in the fucking, yeah.
oh my God. That neighborhood though, like that neighborhood was a little sketchy in that alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, yeah, there was
I literally, like, it sounded like somebody was being burnt at the stake in like the Salem witch trials. Did you, like, that was a fucking speaking, you were talking about fucking horror movie.
Girl too. She was great.
I'm pretty sure, and it's a very effeminate guy, if it's a guy. No offense to feminine dudes, but like, still, I was going over there. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, because literally we were talking about just serial killers and all that crazy shit. It's like, I that's, see, and you're talking about, it's so funny because I feel like I don't know if you believe in like you manifest the reality that you create sometimes.
Yeah. I love all that shit. Are you kidding? I love that stuff.
I think sometimes we can kind of overlook for meaning, but
listen, you can also manifest negative if you're not careful. So what do they say? Watch your thoughts, because thoughts become words. Watch your words, because words become actions. Watch your actions, because actions become who you are, your character. So the other thing when you think about is words, thoughts. Okay, so thoughts become words, the things you say. If then words that you say become actions, then it comes into things that you're going to do, negative or positive.
Why are you giving me so many riddles today? I am too stoned for this.
And actions. Oh, here comes that little 10-minute warning.
10-minute warning. I know we got to upgrade.
Oh, we'll deal.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll deal with it. And it's a saying. I got to remember where it comes from. Watch your thoughts, because thoughts become words. Watch your words, because words become actions. Watch your actions, because actions become character. Right? So it's like it is the step by step of manifestation. Now, if you think negative thoughts too, you can also manifest negative thoughts. So that's another way of watching your thoughts. If you think more positive, like say, for example, let me give you an example of the pandemic, because the pandemic was actually something for negativity and positivity and manifestation. So there were some people who were really freaked out about the pandemic. Okay, everybody was at the beginning, kind of, right? Not everybody, but a lot of people at the beginning. You didn't know. What did I do? Okay, the first thing I was doing was obsessing on these videos that were coming out of China where people were just dropping dead. So I was just totally obsessing with that, because I'm kind of like, I'm like, oh my God, it's like a zombie movie. I swear to God, I feel like I'm watching a zombie movie. That literally people in China was dropping dead in the street and in the hospital. And I saw these videos coming out of China and I was freaking out. And you know what else they were doing? They were taking, like, China, the government, they were bolting people in their apartment. They were starving. They were dying. They were locked with their grandma who already passed away, and they couldn't get out. So all this stuff. And I started like watching it and like as if I'm watching a horror movie and sharing it. And one time I gave it to I was telling my girlfriend in Toronto, and I was like, oh my God, you have to see this video. I totally like traumatized her. I think I traumatized her. She was like, I've seen enough. Don't send me more. I can't handle it. And then you have to think, okay, after a certain amount of time, you have to go, are you going to live the rest of your life like that? Or are you going to just like be positive in life and enjoy life and live free and whatever and say, fuck it. You know what I mean?
By the way, in case China's listening, Taiwan's not real. So we're good. Don't worry about it. Wink, wink, guys. Taiwan's not a real country. John Cena is great. Yeah, we're good.
I don't know anything about the Uyghurs.
No, it's okay. I was just screaming like the lady outside who was clearly on some type of meth or some shit. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Holy fuck. Yeah, no.
Also, the pandemic. The pandemic is like your thoughts. Are you going to think negative or are you going to think positive?
Well, yeah,
Now,
and like I saw, like you could see people
not easy
go
all the time.
into. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but like you've seen it. Like people can go into these fucking rabbit holes and let it snowball. And like just to get back to the original thing about
Yeah.
sleep, I mean, I think they have things where you can monitor how much REM sleep you're getting and what you're doing and whatnot. Like, but I know that for people that think a lot, or maybe you have some hypochondria, or maybe there's neuroses or whatever. I wouldn't even deem it up to that. I just think there's a lot going on. And sometimes if you not good at compartmentalizing, or if you compartmentalize too much, then it's going to show up in different aspects of your life. And one of them will be dreams. One of them will be like you see people develop like a weird twitch or like an ulcer or weird shit like that because of it's a byproduct of stress. So I don't know. For me, I was cognizant about not trying not to develop that and stuff. And like, I'm not going to get me wrong. This helped. This lovely plant helped.
Yeah.
And,
No, I mean, that's good that you had that. And
yeah.
honestly, that if that helps people, that helps people. I didn't really have an issue when it came down to the pandemic because I only obsessed for a little short time about it because mostly because I watch horror movies and I don't mind freaking myself out. I also have a kind of a sick sense of humor, not, or what do you call it, a morbid curiosity. So, and I'm really into like conspiracy theories or whatever. So my thing was I was actually not freaked out about it as much as I was more like, whoa, check this out. Like, I was more like that,
You're
right?
looking at it like
And
a
I was
movie
freaking other
almost.
people out. I think I was freaking other people out that knew me. I was like, they were like, no more, don't send me any more videos. I'm good.
It's
I
like
was like,
people that send you. It's like people that send you those fail videos, or people like fucking up their arms and breaking their bodies. It's
yeah.
like motherfucker, I've actually broke my body. I don't need to fucking see other people
Oh,
do
yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
No, for
saying?
sure. For sure. That's crazy. Well, listen, like, here's the other thing, though. The other thing when it comes to that is it's also a learning lesson. Let's say, like, there's a spiritual reason, the spiritual kind of reason why it's going on. Now, it's almost like it slowed people down to start to get to know themselves. Like some people can't handle it, and maybe like that they got really depressed. My friend's kid got depressed, and she got him a dog, her kid, and it totally changed the whole vibe of their house during the pandemic. And that was really good because you know what, they have teenagers, and the teenagers were locked in. They couldn't see their girlfriends, their friends. That would have been really hard. But then they had a puppy. They had a puppy they got to raise during the pandemic. That was really helpful. But think about all the people. I mean, obviously, there's so many people who are alone. There's so many people who don't have other family members. So that's really sad. But at the same time, it's like, what do you do to find happiness or adjust to different circumstances? I'm a Scorpio, so like supposedly Scorpios are good at adjusting. I mean, some people are better than others, but I feel like I'm really good at adjusting. And I didn't have a problem because sometimes, like even now, like there's no pandemic and lockdown, but I haven't really, like, I can go for like a whole week and go, oh, I didn't leave my house. Because I play on the computer, I do stuff on the computer, I have a patio, I do a lot of stuff at home. I don't even think about it. And if I get really bored, I always have something to do. So I always have like movies set up, I have books, I write a book, I have a piece of and I totally keep myself busy. Like I don't have this kind of problem. I love being by myself. I can watch Netflix 247 sometimes, back to back.
Yeah.
Anyways, my point is not everybody is like that. And some people got very depressed. And I know that even for Scott, he had to get out of the house. Like he got on a scooter and he had to get out of the house. He had to get fresh air. And by the way, I'm probably one of those people who did more quarantines than anybody else. Okay. Because I traveled during the pandemic with my husband and without my husband, back and forth from here to Canada, Dominican to Canada. And in Canada, you had to do the 2-week quarantine. So I did it once where it was free in the hotel. And when I went in there, it was, I swear to God, it was like a zombie. It was like Resident Evil. So you went in there and, okay, you get off the plane. The people come and they go, okay, you have to come with us. And then we go on a bus, like a mini bus, and we go with whoever else is coming off the plane. And we're taken to a hotel, right? And then when we get in the hotel, the people, they all had the, the kind of, what do you call it, not just a pandemic, it's fucking full on hazmat suits.
Oh,
they
yeah,
were wearing hazmat suits.
Yeah,
Okay?
like garb.
And like the driver said that they had customers who freaked out, who literally got traumatized by it. And they said they had to leave. They said they'll pay for a hotel, but they didn't want to go to this quarantine thing. Right. And then, which I didn't even know that you could do that, but, or anyways, this was the free hotel from the government at the beginning. So I stayed.
Hold that thought. We're about to cut off. Okay. Free hotel from the government. Hold that thought. We'll be right back, guys.
The quarantine. This is insane.
Okay. 1 sec, yes.
With hazmat suits and everything.
And we're back.
I did a lot of Canadian quarantine from the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like first Dominican, actually, they went actually full martial law lockdown, and they had, after a certain amount of time, like 3:00 basically, you had to be in your house unless you had papers that said you were allowed to drive around or go out. But they had a truck that went around and men with guns, and you would be arrested or picked up if you were out after a certain time. And so they had martial law. Now they didn't even put you in a jail. They put you, all these people slept outside of the soccer field right beside the prison, because they were just, they weren't real prisoners, but they were, they had to friggin' spend overnight. And then their bail was, I'm trying to remember, I think it was like $30 or $60, but that's a lot of money in Dominican. So even $30 is a lot of money to get out the next day. Now in Canada, now I had to go and visit my mom. Now we had things like my stepdad got in a car accident. We had to go, my mom had dementia. She has dementia. There certain things like, because they were sick. My stepdad ended up dying. He passed away during the pandemic too. He had cancer though. And Scott's dad was here visiting during the pandemic, during the lockdown. He passed away in our house because he did not like the lockdown. Unfortunately, he felt like he was in a prison. And I was trying to tell him we could walk around the neighborhood or even sit on the patio. And he was really looking at the videos that were coming out, like, and he was freaked out and he thought he was sick. So he also kind of was sick for the last bit of his life. He had surgery and everything like that. So he was sick, but when he got better, he was paranoid that he was going to get sick again. So all this stuff, and he wasn't even hanging out in the living room to like watch TV with me. We were watching Game of Thrones and all this stuff. Anyways,
maybe it was the last season of that show that killed him. He saw the last season.
Yeah, that was bad. The last.
He's like, "Fuck this! Arya killed the Night King." Just right there.
I had DVDs, right? So like by the time I got to the later ones, he was like, "Oh, it's not as good as the earlier seasons." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but we just try to finish the season, right?"
That last season, that was like a turd would be a generous way of describing it, because they didn't have a fucking light bulb for that showdown when who was fighting? No, the Unsullied was later. It was when the Night Walkers were coming and shit. And I was like, this is
They
so
could have made it
bad.
so much better. It was almost like they were lazy at the end. They were just so lazy to finish it for the fans, to finish it properly for the fans.
Yeah.
So it was really annoying, and everybody complained about it. Every fan complained about the ending. But you know, that happens. I mean, I'm a Dexter fan. Like, I watched the TV show Dexter. They screw all that stuff up. Seinfeld fan. They screwed up the last. They just do that. I think they just get, oh, this is almost over, and they get lazy.
Well, this kind of relates to philosophy a little bit, but like there's that term in show business that less is more sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think that can be applied, but also when you're going for so long, I think you have to. There's only so many storylines and so many everything. Yeah. Also, the market gets saturated, and when you get too many cooks in the kitchen, you know, there's no fluidity.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I agree. So I was just telling you the end, and I did so many quarantines that the first one was free, and I was loving it because I was in a free hotel. They bring you food like 3 times a day. People were complaining about it, but I didn't complain about the food. I got so much food that I gained like 10 pounds just being there for 2 weeks. And I got like a free yoga mat because you can go, hi, I need a yoga mat because I'm here for like 2 weeks. I didn't even go out with the exercise. You can go out for like an hour a day and just walk around the parking lot like you're in a jail yard. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Because I saw that too down here in Windsor at the river. Do you know what it felt like? It felt like that scene from Midnight Express when they were in the Turkish prison and they were saying, and the guy. Yeah. Oh, you never saw that? Yeah. So in spoiler alert, when the guy's in the prison, he's there for like months upon even years.
Yeah.
Slowly starting to lose his mind. And,
oh man!
And so like him and like other people, because I think they put him in the psych ward after a while. And he was with these people that were like literally in a different section of the jail, like almost underground. And they walked in a circle. They said no. And I think the one guy was supposed to be, I think he was a professor or some type of prestigious academic position. And like he just kind of lost his mind. He said like a good Turk always goes to the right, you know, to go around the years. And so like they even had it down to that shit. And like when I saw the fucking arrows, and again, not to get conspiratorial, don't, you know, take it easy, algorithm. But when I saw the fucking arrows at like convenience stores and grocery stores,
oh my god, yeah,
like, drug stores, and like you saw that shit everywhere, and I was like, this is just like the fucking movie. Like, and that kept me up one night because I'm like,
what's the movie called? I'll have to look at Midnight Express. Okay,
Midnight Express. It was, I forget. It's based on like a real guy who got trapped in Turkey because he was trying to. I don't know if he knowingly smuggled hash out of Turkey back to the U.S., but he was attempting to do it, and he was there with like his girlfriend or wife, and like she like literally there was a whole campaign. It was a rigorous campaign because they were trying to get him back to the States, but he had to, spoiler alert, how he escapes is like I think he had to kill a guard or something, and then he had to run to the border of like I think it was Spain or something like that, and he had to just wait. Wow. But the stories were horrendous, like just some of the things that were coming out of that.
Wow. I have to go check it out. I'll check that movie out.
It was like the movie Papillon when they were in the prison, you know, and he tried to escape multiple times and he couldn't get out. Yeah,
I didn't see that either.
Never saw. Oh, okay, all right, we'll talk.
Oh no, I should see it. If you recommend, I'll check it out sometime.
It's a little sad, but it's beautiful. Anyway.
Oh, Scott could barely do it. Like, so he makes jokes, right? So like he gets stir crazy. He has to go for a walk. He has to do some exercise. He has to get some fresh air. He has to go out. Me, I have no problem. Like, so he's like, the joke was like, oh no, she's good institutional wise. like I stay in, I was like, oh yeah, no problem. I'm watching Netflix. I have my yoga mat. I can do some push-ups. I was doing like so much OnlyFans content. Like I was making like all this content, like customs were coming in for like even like quick shout outs and like quickie stepmom like scenarios. I was making use, and I was like, why let a free hotel go to waste? And I had my toys. I was getting the free food.
You find like when you're at a hotel, you do more wilder shit because it's not your place. Like you have to clean up, but you don't have to. There's a maid there.
I do try to work more because I'm like, oh, I can shoot here, I could shoot there, I could do that because it's a different like location, and I feel like, oh, this would be great. Like, I still haven't put up. The last time I was at the hotel in Vegas, I did some shower stuff. Like, I still have to put it up in my OnlyFans, but I like got. Oh, that reminds me. Don't worry, I have shower stuff I made for you. I just got to put it together and edit. I got some videos for you. I haven't edited it yet. I almost forgot, but
I forgot all about it. In all honesty,
but I filmed some new ones. I filmed some new stuff, so I'm gonna make you a compilation. But I got it.
Compilation. I see what you did there.
Yeah,
you sly devil, you. Compilation.
No, that was an accident. Actually, it wasn't me being clever.
So was I. I was an accident.
But anyways, I just have to warn you though. Oh, first, let me just finish that story. Is the next time I had to do the quarantine in Canada, it cost me $3,000. Yeah, my stepdad got in a car accident, and so they were basically punishing people who were traveling. So they went from giving us a free hotel, and I didn't mind that there was plastic everywhere and people in hazmat suit. I was like, I feel like I'm in a horror movie. I feel like I'm in like 28 Days Later, zombie movie. And I was like really excited. But Scott was like, I can't stand this. I have to get out of here. I feel like I'm in a prison. He was like the exact opposite. So this is how we are. And then the next time I had to travel, he got me a nicer hotel, which cost a little bit more. And then I had to do 3 days. And I'm talking about not a week or the 2 weeks. It cost me 3 days, $3,000 almost. And then it had included the test and all that stuff too, the testing. And then I had to do 2 weeks at my mom's house. And they knew, because of the app on my phone, they knew exactly when I got home. So the cab took me home, and I was supposed to like go right into the basement and not talk to anybody. But I was like, hi, Mom. And the phone rings. The phone rings at my mom's house. My sister answers it. And I'm like, in the background. And they're like, can I talk to? And then so I get on the phone and they're like, do you know that you're supposed to be in the basement quarantine? You can't say hi to your family. You have to go in quarantine right away. And I was like, oh, for God's sake. So I went down there, and then they're like telling me, you know, that your sister has to bring you, like my sister was there. I said, she has to bring you food and leave it outside your door. And then you separate when she's not there, and you open the door and you grab your food.
I'm telling you right now, Max, like when you're done here, watch the movie Papillon. That's just like what happens. Like the newer one with Charlie Hubbard is good too. And Rami Malek, the guy who plays Mr. Robot. But the original one was Dustin Hoffman.
Okay. I want to watch it. I've never seen that. I love movies. I'm a movie person.
But long story short, it's about a guy who he was like involved with the French mob somehow, some type of embezzlement thing, and he got framed for like money laundering or some shit. So they put him away, and this American accountant who I think he defrauded the government somehow. And
check the titles out later because I'll forget.
Yeah. Okay. Pat. Yeah. I'll text it to you now.
Tell me whenever, like, so I can look it up, Netflix or Prime or something I have. Okay. And so then the $3,000, and then I went to my mom's. I had to quarantine there, and because it was during a busy time, I had to stay there longer because you have to wait to see when your tests are done, and my test wasn't done. And you know what? If I went into the kitchen, I saw they had people they hired to check up on your house. And I saw this two different cars. One was a truck, one was another car, and several times. The truck happened a couple times, and they came and pulled it up around my house. They went up because it's a cul-de-sac or like around the circle. And so they came up, and then they stopped at my neighbors, and they were watching my house for a while to see if I was going to leave, if anybody was going to leave or anything. So they can find me another $3,000 if I left my house. And then I had a call, and they said, just so you know, we're going to have somebody check up on you. So they have like a COVID police officer. And then they came to the door, and my sister's like, hold on, let me see if my sister's dressed yet. Hold on. And then she's like, and then I was like out of the house in the basement. I ran back in the basement. And then he comes around the backyard, and there's an entrance right from the basement to the backyard. Well, it's like a split level place, right? And I go out, and he's like, hi. And he has this clipboard. He was really nice. And then I was like, hi. And he's like reading me all this stuff that I have to know. Like, you can't go out to your house. You have to wait for the thing. It could be a $3,000 fine. And he's reading me all this stuff. And you have to make sure you don't go in anywhere else in your house, and that your family leaves the food. Do you agree? I said, yeah. I heard all this stuff before. They're like, okay, all good. And then I laughed, and I was just like, went back to the basement. And then I hung out with my sister, and we had some drinks. You called me. We did a podcast.
Oh yeah, we did. That's right.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Wasn't that long ago?
Yeah, man. So I did lots of quarantine in Canada. Fuck. You know that he's gonna fucking keep it on. You know that, right? That's why he hated the trucker so much, because he's actually gonna bring it back. So now they're gonna like give everybody the summer off, and then once the winter comes on, they've already warned people that the pandemic will come back. So then they'll go, oh, it's another strain. No, it's going to be a cold. It's how it works is this more mild. But, Trudeau's going to do that. So I'm warning all Canadians, you may want to come and move overseas. Take your money and come down to the Dominican Republic.
I know. And then you can have other people that are trying to steal more of your laptops. Right next to Maxine.
Well, I got full on security now. So
yeah, exactly.
Not full on security, but I have bars, and now we have concertina wire around our place, like the barbed wire.
Mm-hmm.
So and that kid went to jail. So he had robbed 10 houses in my area.
What? Holy
shit. No, he was a career criminal waiting to happen. Like
that's like a legit cat burglar.
Yeah, he's like 20, but you know what? He scaled my 11-foot high walls to my patio, like 11 feet. What he did is he jumped up. He's really tall and skinny. So he jumped up, and he put his foot on a tiny thin ledge, a windowsill ledge, and he jumped up, and he got on the patio. I was like, what is he, a fucking Spider-Man? And on top of it, there were several handprints. Like, I don't know why he was so dirty that he left actual handprints. Like, how dirty do you have to be? Like, your hand is there. It was like filthy. So you could see handprints and footprints up my wall. And we took pictures. And the next door neighbor had a camera. So that's why. And I got my laptop back and everything, because they knew who he was, because he was actually wanted. So.
Well, you see, look at that. Man, the craziest shit happens to you. I swear to God, you have like some of the wildest stories. Oh my
God, that's nothing compared to when I was a teenager. When I first moved to Toronto, my girlfriend and my friends that I moved in, we lived right on. I don't know if you've ever heard. In Toronto, there's it's like near the Regent Park area. So like Jarvis and Dundas area.
Yeah.
Now it's okay. It's like fixed up. But back in the day when I was a teenager, it was friggin' Crackville. Okay. And so my first apartment building was 55 Mutual Street, and it was like a total crackhead building. Like literally, I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating, to the point where crackheads, hookers were being picked up at my alleyway of my building, and they were being put in a car, and then they basically do something really quick, and they would make $20, right? And some of them lived in my building, and they smelled really bad, like they were smelly. And I remember the landlord's nephew, he was from the UK, but his background was Guyanese. So he was a really attractive black guy, tall, thin, had a British accent, and I have a weakness for fucking British accents. So I was like, and they called him English. Now, later on, I found out he was like one of the biggest drug dealers, and he was a badass in my area, and he sold drugs. But I didn't know that right away. Like, I didn't know. He was a nice guy. He was really sweet to me. He was total sweetie. And so my first boyfriend, when I moved to Toronto, was like the biggest drug deal, one of the biggest drug dealers in Regent Park area. And to the point where if guys bothered me, they were like, okay, I used to get followed to the laundry machine, just like, you know, you drag your laundry down the street to a laundromat. And like guys on their bike, like would be like, hey, hitting on me. And I just like ignore them, like, oh, you're a bitch, blah, blah, blah. And they'd be really pissed off if you didn't weren't friendly to them. And then the next thing, what happened is eventually when I started dating him, I'd be like, yeah, I do have a boyfriend. They call him English around here. And they'd be like, oh, I didn't know that. And they'd back off, right? I didn't know you're English's girlfriend. Sorry. And it got to the point where had a big mouth. So I used to get into fights as a teenager at 16, 17. I used to get into fights with guys, and like guys would like throw like orange juice at me. I'm like, motherfucker. I was like, you wait right here, you're fucking dead. And then I'd go to like my boyfriend and he'd be like, oh God, I heard some commotion in the alleyway. I was like, please don't be her. And then he'd go and take a bat and he'd go, and then he'd come back and he's like, come with me. And then I came in the alleyway and there was like 20 guys. And they go, see this girl? This is my girlfriend. Just leave her alone, okay? And all these guys who were like, I guess he was distributing for him. They were like, yeah, no problem. And it was so funny because a couple of those guys I got in a fight with the week before with my girlfriends. We were going to a club, and we were going to a rave club. Like it was The Rise. It was called The Rise, 318 Richmond Street back in the day. And these 7 guys came around and they grabbed my girlfriend's ass, and one stuck his nails in it, and she was like, motherfucker. And then we got in this whole verbal fight with these guys, like 7 guys. Like one guy kicked it was a whole fucking fight, okay? And we were just like totally having a scrap with them. And I said, yeah, you watch it. I have a fucking boyfriend and he's got a gun and he's gonna fucking shoot you dead. I don't know why I was being a gangster. I was 17, right? And I had a big mouth. And then he didn't have a gun. He had a bat. He just slept with a bat. And then the funny thing is, in that time where he says, okay, this is my girlfriend, 2 of those guys were in that group. So that I was like, damn, I told you, don't mess with me. And they left as soon as I said, I have a boyfriend who's got a gun. He's going to shoot you. And they're like, okay, all right. And they left. So that kind of thing, I had a big mouth and he didn't have a gun. I was just being, a shit disturber.
Can I, so like, if you say that he has a gun, if you say he has a gun, but he pulls out a water pistol, does that still count? Because I feel like you didn't really have a gun. So what if they just called your bluff? That would be kind of shitty for you.
He was funny though. I remember he was hilarious. He was like the first day he took me on, we went to a restaurant, and at the end of the food, like he's like, can you run? I was like, you run inside? And I was like, what? And then he's like, I'm just kidding. And then he paid. But he was like always looking around, and I was like, why are you always looking around? Like,
I bet it sounded like he had a lot of people that knew him. That would keep me on edge too. You know what the funniest thing he said though? Like, I will never forget it. He had a sense of humor. So one time that first date, we're walking in Regent Park in the friggin' area that, lots of people sell drugs. And so we were walking in that area, and this crackhead came up to me and was like, English, give me some. And he was like, get away from me. You think just because I'm black, I sell drugs? It was so funny because he actually was a drug dealer. Listen, I'm not in favor of racial profiling, but in that instance, they were right. They were right. They were right. You should.
It was comical.
Oh yeah. Listen, I could talk to you all day about this shit because you have amazing stories. Please save some of them for next podcast.
I know.
I am higher than the current gas prices right now, and I want to watch South Park and go to bed.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, I always have fun with you, and we can do this whenever. So.
Oh, absolutely.
I have tons of stories. I told you I'm writing a book. My teenage years, I had many adventures because I just was a shit disturber when I was young. I'm nicer now. I'm just calmer now.
Yeah, totally. Totally. You're so much calmer, so much more tame. Anyways, yeah, you guys, this has been X Marks the Thought, episode 5. I don't know what we're going to call this. I'm going to listen to the episode and think of a creative title. Maxine, where can the people find you and how can they support you?
All right. Well, my thing that I love to promote is first my website, maxinex.com. Then my OnlyFans, which is onlyfans.com/MaxineX. And then I'm on Instagram and Twitter. Just search official Maxine X or Maxine X and you'll find me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys know where to reach me. Again, Instagram, Dave Squeaky Wheelz, DAVESQUEAKY, Wheelz with the Z. I'll be in Toronto the week of June the 15th, I believe. I'm not sure the location. I got to double check with the booker. He's another comic. I'm going to see if I can do more gigs up there in the city that week. Hopefully the Comedy Underground and some other ones. So stay tuned. Watch my Instagram stories for that. Check my Facebook, D Squeaks. Or just Dave Squeaky Wheelz. If you're on Facebook, just search me. Again, DAVESQUEAKY, Wheelz with a Z. Sorry if I said that too fast, but you're watching this on YouTube.
We'll put the links below.
Yeah, exactly. We'll put the links below, or just slow the speed down to 1.125. Yeah. No, I was just having a stroke. That wasn't the thing. But yeah. But yeah, go listen. Go find me on that. I don't really use Twitter, but it's just Dave Squeaky Wheelz again. Yeah, and also like and subscribe. If you guys like and subscribe, we can expand our little universe here. We can get more people for these shows, and we can have a little thing going on. Maxine have some more special ideas that we're gonna do for you guys. Maybe some special edition episodes. So stay tuned.
Oh. Maybe I can read your tarot cards one time on the live stream.
Yeah,
whatever on the Zoom.
We can do that next time. Yeah, we're figuring out the live stream. We attempted to do that tonight, but that was a debacle.
Yeah, it looks like we need software, so I didn't know. I was trying it too, and I'm like, yeah, you do need software. I didn't even know that. I never clicked on like go live.
Exactly. You should have never go software. You know what I'm saying? Because if you subscribe to Maxine's OnlyFans,
don't be stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, rock hard. That's what I want.
Exactly, or at least enough to fucking pretend. You know, I forget. Yeah. There's a David Tell joke where it's like, I forget, was it David Tell where it's like you put 2 popsicle sticks or you tape 2 popsicle sticks to your dick and then you go in there like a soldier.
That's funny. That would feel very weird though. I think I would know that there's popsicle sticks beside.
I was gonna say you've opened up bottles of Heineken's with your pussy, so I don't think we're gonna talk about semantics here, Maxine. Get it together.
There's what's his head has a new comedy on Netflix. I have to watch it. God.
Special.
Name. Oh gosh, she's funny too. Scott was laughing, but I wasn't watching it. I'm gonna watch the whole thing all together. It was the guy from The Office in UK.
Oh shit! I can't think of it.
The creator. Oh my god.
Oh, Ricky Gervais. Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, that
anyway, he has a new stand-up. I didn't watch it yet because I want to watch it from the beginning, and Scott was already watching it. So I'm like, I'm gonna watch it from the beginning. So maybe I'll watch it for next time and tell me if you watch it, and then you can comment about it. Yeah,
I've watched a little bit. I haven't finished it all. Maybe half of it. Yeah, it was the first 5 minutes are awesome. It's really, really good. He's very performative.
It sounded funny, but I didn't want to watch it from the middle, so I was like, no, I'm gonna watch it at the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to X Marks the Thought. I am Dave Squeaky Wheelz. This is my esteemed and lovely co-host, Maxine X. And we will catch you guys next time. And have a good one. Wrist
All
it.
right. Wrist that. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.